have a question.
Okay,
All
sure.
right. I have a question. What is going on with today's society? There's so many Peter Pans.
What's a Peter Pan?
A Peter Pan is a boy that doesn't want to grow up.
Okay.
That wants to stay in whatever fantasy land he's in and doesn't grow. We have a lot of grown-ass men, quote unquote, that are children. So what is going on? Where did the gap? What happened? Like, I mean, I grew up in a time, I guess because I'm 39, that like there were really good quality men out there.
Yeah.
And now it's like men expect to be supported, taken care of. Like, I'm your mom.
Uh-huh.
So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that there's more, there's like this whole epidemic of boy
Of panty boys.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, we can go around a panel with that question just to get everyone's perspective, and
That's
I'll go
fine.
last. Yeah, good question. Let's start with you. What's your thoughts on that? So she pretty much explained, you know, with this situation going on with men, why are there so many beta males? Why do you think there's so many beta males?
I feel like, everybody just had a crazy upbringing, and I think that's where it stems from. So I'm not making excuses for men. I do feel like they need to get their shit together, but I do feel like it started from it started from women. They seen women not really caring, so they stopped caring. So now it's like we need them to care, and they don't know how to because nobody taught them. So it's like we're getting a bad end of the stick.
You said men, but I don't want to insult the men out there. They're boys, they're guys, they're males at the least. But men are men.
You're right.
So, these... What are your thoughts on
I
that?
agree. Don't
I'll
get it
go
twisted.
last. I mean, because
Don't
I'm
think I
probably
don't
gonna,
agree.
I'll
I
get in
agree.
detail.
Yeah.
with
So
it.
that's why when I selectively talk about these type of males, I never confuse them with men because it's an insult for the men that are out there that are
I
actually...
think they have mommy issues and they're just looking for nurturing.
Hey, chat.
I,
Wait, was that your answer? You kind of pretty much. Then I'll have you
Yeah,
go
I'm
next.
done. I'm done.
You
on
could
that.
go. No, good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
he's okay.
Just,
I lost the
so,
whole thought.
so her question was pretty much, why do you think that there are? Well, you could actually ask it. Go ahead.
Why there's so many beta boys?
Like I said, probably they're just looking for attention. They have mommy issues. So they're looking for, that mommy out there.
That's
why
one
they're-
spectrum. Mhm.
That's just what I could
What about the other spectrum? Sometimes they're spoiled too much by mommy,
probably.
and they want a mommy. And the problem is sometimes the mommy doesn't tell them, "Hey, you got to treat a woman better than you treat me."
There you
Because
go,
I'm
you
not, because
answered your
I could be your
question.
maid, I could be your chef,
Can I
I could be
tap in on
your
that?
assistant.
Tap-
Yeah, you can go ahead and I'll have her go.
Sorry. You want to?
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to tap in on that. That part, those women, they mold those men to stay there. So I feel like us as women, when we're having those dates and we're letting them know, we want relationships, we need to know what kind of relationship they have with their mom.
That is true.
Those are the questions we need to ask. Like, how close are you?
How so? So you think it's supposed to be like how close?
Oh.
So you think the beta males aren't that close with their mom?
She thinks that.
No, it's some that are and some that aren't. But regardless of like she said, mommy issues. I don't want to give it a label,
Yeah.
I just feel like there are, and you said you don't want to call them men. So there's
You could call
grown
them
men.
whatever.
There's grown men that act like boys because they need a certain something and they're lacking from their mom. That's how I feel.
Sometimes I also think, and I agree, there's various reasons why I believe there's this epidemic happening. The absence of motherly, womanly figures, and then there's the enabling, because they can have no relationship with their mom and be great men because maybe the mom's too toxic or unhealthy or unbalanced, and they want something different, Then there's people who have parents or mothers specifically that their child could do no wrong. They're clearly doing something wrong, but you're not reprimanding them, you're not scolding them, you're not punishing them, you're not giving them chores. So I think you said the key word. You have to see how the relationship with their mom is. Does he use his mother or does he love his mother? Because those are different things.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so chat, I'm just letting the ladies give their perspective, and I'll go last. You could go, Maya.
I don't know. I think I don't know how much of an epidemic it is, but
Okay. She's like, I don't really
live
see
long
it.
enough, live long enough, and you're like, and you've
I'm
talked
not
to a
trying
lot
to
of
find
women,
out if that's the case. But
and women will tell you.
I think, I mean, a lot of it is like the internet too, because you see a different perspective on the internet of people, but and it also depends on like where you are, like opposed to like somewhere like here opposed to Miami or something is drastically different. So I don't know, in different age groups and stuff. I think like obviously people are a product of their environment,
Fact.
but I don't know. Like I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think that it's because as far as like men that I've encountered anyway, like I don't think it's been drastically like.
So
any,
you're pretty
like,
much saying you're meeting
femboys
more
or
like
anything.
masculine men then? Like you're attracting masculine men?
What, like physically or like just like
Like masculine,
far
their
as-
persona about them, the way they carry themselves, men that are,
I
know.
would say like I don't know I don't know what I attract. I haven't really.
You know?
You've had good luck.
Let me
You've had
ask
good
you.
I've not
Let
had
me
good
ask
luck.
you. The last guy you've dated. Well, you said you've been single for 2 years, right? Okay, you're 24.
Yeah.
So you've been single when you were 22.
Yeah.
And ladies, just know, so y'all good. I just lost my train of thought. But okay. So your last guy that you dated, what like was he masculine? A masculine? Okay, so he wasn't masculine. You
No.
answered that quick.
He wasn't
Gotcha.
like super. I don't know. It wasn't like on the other end of the spectrum, but he
Yeah.
also like emotionally and like I was very much like sugar mama and like just had to be like mommy in the relationship. But to
Okay.
be fair, like
You.
I think a lot of that is just age too. I think like
Can I
How
ask
old
a
was he?
question?
well we were the same age. We met when we were like 18, 19. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's a good perspective. You're saying that like he was like young. So
Yeah, I think just generally
he
part of-
needed more time to mature and stuff. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
My question: are you a lover? Like, is that what you bring when you're in a relationship?
Who you asking
Yeah,
that to?
like-
Her?
Yeah,
Oh.
Maya.
like as far as like hookup stuff and
Like,
like versus like
do you feel like you're a nurturer? Like,
yeah
you love on your man.
yeah
So-
I feel like that is part of
So can I just say,
Yeah.
you know, because I feel like we all said something in common. We are lovers, and
Okay.
and this is where I also wanted to say, like, us women play a major part. I cannot not say it because
Play a part in the beta mouse.
yes,
Yeah. Okay. Finally, someone's speaking the truth.
I have to, you know, like
But yeah, so
Because-
I'll go and I'll make it very concise and give y'all some, the facts and the truth about things. So, I mean, hard times create strong men create soft times, and soft times create soft men. So this is why we're living in a time right now where it's a lot of beta males, panty boys walking around, soy boys that don't have any backbone, that's, want to go 50-50 in a relationship and can't lead. They're incongruent. They don't have any, they have a very, they lack integrity. They lack assertiveness and dominance. But it does stream from feminism, right? So with the wave of feminism and women being in the, just being in the workforce, women are hypergamous, right? So think about it, right? So think about, let's say 70 years ago, right? When women really wasn't working like that. They were more home. Hypergamous means that a woman wants a man on her level or above, preferably above her level, right? So back in the day, it's kind of easy to find a man above your level because you ain't really working. So you're looking for certain traits in a man, and as long as that man is working and inserting himself to a certain level, you kind of can admire him. You can look up to him, right? But now there's more women in the workforce, and women are, I think, it's what, 60-40 or 55-50 in between colleges. Most women are graduating colleges and getting degrees. So that means that there's more competent women to a certain extent as far as competence, right? So with that being said, all right, cool. So yeah, in the workforce, you're making more money than a lot of guys, and you have a higher education. Okay, so that means that if you want a man that's above you, most men don't meet that, right? So that's why you see a lot of soy boys and panty boys. Got it, right? So that's really the factor. So this is why I'm saying it's feminism's fault. It's feminism's fault, because without feminism and promoting women to be in the workforce. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong with that, but this is one of the side effects of it. This is just a natural reaction to women working. You want to be a realtor? You want to be a digital creator? OnlyFans? I'm making more bread than some of these dudes. You know what I mean? Posting some thirst traps on OnlyFans. Well, guess what? To the average guy, it's going to be hard for him to measure up and to make that, because women can take the easier route out by selling sexuality. That's one thing. Then they can take the hard way out, you know, by actually getting that education as well. But yeah, truthfully, I think that's one of the reasons. Now, the other thing is, y'all was talking about how, you know, women, guys actually lack the relationship with the mother. That's why they're soy boys. It's the complete opposite. They lack the relationship of their father, because with the wave of feminism, what it bred in society was single mother households. So now you got a lot of men being raised in a single mother household. So they have no father figure. They don't have that masculine guidance around them to instill masculinity in them. So that's what they're lacking. They're not lacking any mothership guidance at all. You know what I'm saying? And if the reports even show that, because a single father household does just as good as a 2-parent household. So that's what is really lacking. So yeah, go ahead.
So
Yeah.
I just want to say, I hear you, and I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just speaking from like experience and like from conversations that I have from people in their situations. Like, there are a lot of single male homes. Like, there's a lot of single fathers that really strive to want to raise their kids, whether they have 2 or 3, you know, children's mothers, and they want to raise their kids together. So say they'll have 3 different kids from 3 different moms in their home, but now that home is lacking a woman.
Yeah.
So now when that man grows up, he doesn't know how to talk to women. He doesn't know how to, like, he's too much. And to me, that is somewhat of a problem that I'm seeing a lot today too.
You mean that who's too much?
Okay, the man that was brought up in the home with just being around men, never really being around women, not talking around any women, not having any sisters, and
You're saying that that's too much on the boy?
no, it's too much. So when he's trying to enter the dating scene,
Yeah.
he doesn't know how to communicate with women. He's
Yeah,
just
no, that's
all
not
broke.
true. It doesn't go like that. That's not how men actually, it doesn't work that way. It actually works the opposite way. So when a man is being raised, so I was raised in a single mother household, but I had 3 brothers.
Okay.
3 older brothers. I was the youngest one, and I had 2 sisters, right? So I can give my anecdotal experience, but let me just speak in general, right? When a man is raised around brothers or other siblings, or in his father, like you're saying, that it's just all males in a home, that's a good thing. He's going to have, as long as those men are good men, because it goes as far as the people that's raising you. If you don't have good people raising you, then yeah, you're not going to be,
So you
and nothing is going to be instilled into you that's good. So yes, it's always exceptions to the rule. You're probably speaking of a specific situation where you've seen or experienced a male being raised by a lot of other men, and they ended up maybe on drugs or selling drugs or just in the streets or doing degenerate behavior, or didn't really know how to convey themselves to a woman, because those men were just weak. You know what I mean?
I just feel like it's an abundance. It's too many of them around each other.
Yeah, no, it isn't too many. Those are just the wrong men. I trust and believe. Men thrive being around other men, because men are naturally, we like to compete. And it's something about men, it's like this bond that we have. Like, you know, when you're around your boys, you actually you compete even more. Okay. When it comes to dating and relationships too. Like when I'm around my homies, we go out. Back in the day, how many numbers can you get?
Right.
You know what I mean? Oh, you saying this? I said this. That's why I pulled her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of competition back and forth. And then not only that, you got to think about even in the economy. Oh, you working there? Okay, boom. Yo, help me get that job, or I'm going to work there. So men are always trying to compete. So I would say that I see what you're saying. In a situation that can definitely happen, but that boy was just raised around the wrong type of men.
Well, to bounce off what you're saying, and we could go off the subject, but the workforce. Yes, it makes more sense to me now as far as when you say compete, because women now making more money, it's making men like they're scared. It's like, hold up, these women are catching up to us, you know, and they were using money to bait women at a time.
Right.
Now they can't. Now they have to have game. Now they have to be smart. So it's like it's making them crawl into a shell.
Yeah, so I'm glad.
Yeah, I wanted to add, like you said, it's who you surround yourself is vital, right? Because you can even be in a household where it's mom and dad and they're married, but if the mom is dominant or manipulative and the dad is a beta,
Yeah.
you're going to see and realize that you're going to be, one, maybe afraid of women.
Uh-huh.
You're going to not respect women. And on top of that, you're going to also want that familiarity. Like, I want this woman to take care of me and protect and provide for me because that's mom, and as should my woman. But I'm not going to do anything. And when they try to push me or check me, then they resent you for that because you're basically doing what the mother wouldn't do.
Exactly.
Right. And back with the whole thing with feminism, you're right. Sadly, I think there was a point when men went to war and their husbands died that women had to take care of their children because the country wasn't, you know.
You built up properly yet.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that men nowadays, well, I don't even want to say men, I think that these guys nowadays see a woman that's got her stuff together and they think she's going to hold me down in the ride or die mentality.
Those guys was the guys that was raised by in single mother households. So the guys that are comfortable, you said it, you said that, well, women are making more money than men now, and men seem to feel like insecure, right?
Basically.
Men don't feel insecure at all. We are incapable of feeling insecure. Insecure means not confident. So we are incapable of feeling insecure to a woman because we're incapable of it because we're the head of the woman. God over man, man over woman, woman over children. Just that order itself, we're incapable of feeling insecure. Not only that, it's like you're smaller, you're weaker. It's just we don't compete with women when it comes to like finances. It just doesn't correlate in our even mind to compete like that when it comes to finances with a woman. The reason why, I'll explain it to you another way. Let's say would you feel insecure if a guy was trying to dress all pretty, he was taking longer than you to get dressed? You know what I mean? Like, say you take a half an hour, he was taking a good hour. You won't feel insecure, right?
No.
Because like, because you wouldn't compete with the man's beauty.
Right.
But look, let me make it sense to you. Let me all make it make sense to you. Women don't compete with a man's beauty, so it don't matter how, you don't care about his fashion sense. You don't care about how long he takes ready to get dressed. That insecurity won't come up. You won't lose the sense of confidence within yourself by him being pretty because, one, he's the opposite sex, and you don't look for him being pretty, right? Same way with men. A woman working, well, you working doesn't make you look sexier. Like, to us, we're not more attracted to you by you working. You working, we don't really care about you working because even if I'm working and we're in a relationship, my money is your money and your money is your money. You know what I'm saying? So there's really no insecurity, just like a woman looking at a man's fashion sense. You would never feel insecure. We would never feel insecure about a woman making money.
Do you think it pisses off men seeing women make more money than them?
No, well, that's the same thing.
Because,
Piss
like,
off, insecurity. It's
okay.
all a lack of confidence. It doesn't do anything. So what it does is, y'all interpret it, right? Because you out there, you could be making the bag. And you making the bag. When a woman makes money, you get this sense of independency. That's just what happens. You get this sense of independency. I'm not sure why it's like this because God didn't even create it to like that. But I'm not all, but it's in there. Not all may show it and push it to the forefront, but it is in there somehow. But usually I actually think it is. I just think it's a social construct. That's what I think it is. I think women were socially constructed to believe that if she's making the bag, she's independent. But when a man is making the bag, he never calls himself independent. Because when a man makes a bag, it's like, okay, he thinks about it in his mind. Oh, wow, I'm making over 100K. Man, I can get a girl that's going to follow my lead. I can create a family, stuff like this. When a woman is making 100K, she's like, oh, forget this. I'm only making 50. You know what I'm saying?
Some women.
I think some women, yeah, because I think it's
well, you say some, but if you give it time, and if that man doesn't assert himself and do better, right? then you will become that woman, because you're not going to be with a guy. You're not going to be at your most happiest with a guy if that guy isn't asserting himself and he's only making $50,000 a year and you're making $100,000 a year. It's not going to happen. The only way it happens if you instill God into the picture, because then if you instill God into the picture, then that's
marriage.
Well, marriage, but God, like the belief of God, and you believe something higher than yourself. Because this is how it works, right? We all have our nature. A woman's nature is hypergamy. She looks for a man that's doing better than her. A man's nature is polygamy, really. He want quantity. He want a lot of girls, right? So when it comes in a relationship, we all know that men is only as faithful as their options. They'll continue to keep, sleeping around until, something has to restrict that nature. And a woman is always going to look for a man that's better than herself. Something has to restrict that nature. And I'm saying that the only thing that can restrict that nature is God. Like, you have a higher belief in a religious backing behind your morality. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, okay, yeah, like, I'm looking at him not only for what he could do for me. I'm looking at him like his true inside, and I'm loving him for him. But we already know that women don't love a man for them. They love a man based off what he can provide.
That is not true.
No, what I'm saying, it's in your nature to love a man based off what he can provide. But if you instill God, then you won't look at the God. Your morality will supersede your nature.
Well, yeah, that's me.
But what I'm saying right now in society, your morality ain't superseding your nature. And because the world is pretty much godless in America, you know what I'm saying?
The world, not me.
Well, I mean, America is pretty much godless. So you get what I'm saying, but I'll land my plane there. Let's get to the super chats real quick. We got them piling up in here.